then, as I mentioned, is going into schools, talking to children, also discussing strategies with staff. I know at Peel Cloth Workers, where my children are, they did some great workshops, which was all about understanding how people might see the world if they do have autism, and that need to develop ourselves as understanding human beings is just absolutely crucial with this, and I'm guessing that's at the forefront of what you're doing.
Yeah, because sometimes I have the permission from the young person themselves and their parents to use their name if I go in to do an assembly or I go in to talk to a class. Sometimes I do it generically, so there's lots of different ways of getting it out there. But what's really nice is we're all sitting here with headphones on. A lot of people on the autistic spectrum like to wear ear defenders so that they can't hear a lot of the noise, but they don't look any different to anybody else these days because people wear headphones all the time, don't they, walking down the street, you know?
And in terms of people developing coping strategies, because, I mean, given what you've said, there must be lots of people who've never been diagnosed, but who have always felt maybe slightly isolated in some way, and have managed to live their lives perfectly well without ever going for a diagnosis.
Yeah, a lot of autistic people like to be on their own. So what is really difficult, especially in schools, is in schools we promote, if you see somebody on their own, go and talk to them and join them in your game and all of that. But if you're autistic, you might be going, please just leave me alone. But you don't know why you want to be left alone. So those are the sort of things that mean that they don't fit in within a school. But when I look at a lot of the mums and dads of the children that I work with, because it is hereditary, so you often see it within a family, but the mums and dads don't know that they've got it, and because they've just managed throughout life. But why should they have to manage? Why shouldn't they learn about it and get other people to learn around them?
As I say, your role is partly funded by Autism in Man. What sort of support does that provide?
What it means is because the Department of Education, I would only be working with children and people who work with children, whereas because I have my Autism in Man hat, I can go up to the prison and I've like I say, I've trained some of the police officers, and I'm going to a bank this afternoon after I've been here to talk about going into a bank to talk to them, because children grow into adults and they're still going to be autistic. So
and those children that do grow into adults have a great deal to contribute in every area of society. And Jenny, we had your brother on, didn't we? It was a little while ago now.
Yeah.
Just tell us how he's doing.
He's doing great. He's absolutely fine. As an example, I mean, he volunteers with the Manx Blind Welfare, and he records newspaper articles and things like speaks, so that they have a recording of it. So people who have visual impairments are able to listen and enjoy it, which is great. And he contributes to society so much. He's a wonderful person.
If anyone's listening, Carole, and maybe they have some concerns, maybe that there hasn't been any sort of diagnosis to this point, if they have a child, for example, what would you recommend as a first step?
Talk to school. Talk to the Senko at school, because it has to be done either via an educational psychologist, or you can go to your doctor, because it's diagnosis is done up at CAMHS, so it has to be the right path. But if you have concerns at home, then talk to the people in school, because they will then be able to put you on the right path.